Unlocking the magic of words, how Phil M. Jones's Exactly What to Say can transform your conversations. We're not sure if this is for you, but in the world of communication, words are more powerful than we often realize. Phil M. Jones's Exactly What to Say explores this fascinating terrain, revealing the magic behind certain phrases that can subtly influence and steer conversations to our advantage. As American author and motivational speaker Zig Ziglar once said, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." Understanding the art of communication is a critical step toward greatness, whether in personal interactions or business transactions. The phrase "I'm not sure if this is for you, but" might seem simple, but it holds immense power in its structure. The initial part of the sentence, "I'm not sure if this is for you," creates a sense of freedom and non-pressure. It subtly tells the listener that it's perfectly okay to pass on the information, thereby lowering their defenses and making them more receptive. This technique plays on our inherent desire to make our own choices, which can be a potent motivator. The magic truly happens with the word "but." This conjunction effectively negates the previous part of the sentence, redirecting the listener's focus to what comes next. When you say "but," it signals that the important part of the message is about to follow, which heightens curiosity and engagement. Thus, the listener's mind is primed to pay attention and consider the information more seriously. Jones's book is filled with such strategic phrases that tap into the subconscious mind, guiding people toward desired outcomes without them feeling manipulated. By learning these phrases, you can enhance your ability to influence others positively, whether you're closing a sale, negotiating a deal, or simply trying to persuade a friend. The key lies in understanding the psychological triggers that these words activate and using them ethically to build trust and rapport. In today's fast-paced world, where effective communication is more crucial than ever, mastering these techniques can give you a significant edge. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it that makes the difference. By integrating these magic words into your everyday interactions, you can become more persuasive and successful in achieving your goals. As we delve deeper into the art of communication, remember that the journey to mastery begins with small steps. Start by experimenting with these phrases in your conversations and observe the impact they have. Over time, you'll find that your ability to influence and connect with others will improve dramatically. If you found this introduction to the power of words intriguing, share it with others who might benefit from these insights. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more valuable tips and strategies that can help you become a more effective communicator. Steering the conversation. How open-minded are you? Consider that question for a moment. Almost everyone believes they're open-minded. Phil M. Jones, the author of Exactly What to Say, reveals that starting a conversation with this phrase and following it with the idea you want the person to consider increases the odds of their agreement from 50 to 90 to 10 in your favor. For example, asking, "Would you be open-minded about us working together on this?" makes it difficult for the other person to reject your idea, as they feel an obligation to at least try. Sometimes, you might encounter someone who wants to argue, convinced they know best. To avoid a debate and regain control of the conversation, resist the urge to win the argument. Instead, try turning the discussion around by using the words, "What do you know about?" This phrase allows you to test the basis of the other person's reasoning. Your aim is to get them to recognize they have insufficient evidence to form their strongly held opinion. For instance, you could ask, "What do you know about our products?" Or "What do you know about the way our business works?" When the other person answers, you're in a position to correct any errors in their knowledge. Getting someone to agree on a date and time to see you to discuss your proposal, business idea, or product can often be challenging. However, there's good news. A simple phrase can help you overcome their objections. When you ask someone, "When would be a good time to?" their subconscious is already tuned into the idea that there is a good time and that saying no isn't the right response. By using this phrase, you demonstrate that you understand they're busy but believe there will be a time when they can fit you in. To further increase your persuasive power, consider the impact of the phrase, "Just imagine." These words are designed to help the other person visualize the benefits of your proposal. For instance, just imagine how successful our collaboration could be. When people visualize positive outcomes, they are more likely to be enthusiastic about your ideas. Another effective technique is to use the phrase, "You have 3 options." This creates a sense of control for the other person while subtly guiding them towards the choice you prefer. Presenting options makes it easier for people to make decisions without feeling pressured. For example, you have 3 options: we can meet today, tomorrow, or next week. Which works best for you? Lastly, never underestimate the power of gratitude. Ending your conversation with a sincere thank you for considering this can leave a lasting positive impression. Gratitude fosters goodwill and encourages the other person to view your proposal more favorably. By mastering these phrases from Phil M. Jones's Exactly What to Say, you can steer conversations in your favor, making it easier to achieve your goals in business and personal interactions. As Dale Carnegie famously said, there is only one way to get anybody to do anything. And that is by making the other person want to do it. With these tools at your disposal, you'll be well equipped to do just that. Presenting options. If you've sent some business materials in advance of a meeting or it's the second time you're seeing someone after pitching your idea, you still need to keep control of the conversation. A good opening phrase in such situations is, "I guess you haven't got around to." This allows the other person to save face. For example, if the person said they need to consult their partner, you could say, "I guess you haven't got around to talking to your partner yet." In this scenario, the person will either be proud they have actually done it or be embarrassed they haven't. At the end of your presentations, how often do you close with, "Do you have any questions?" Many people do, but this question creates an expectation that the other person should have a question and feel stupid if they don't. If you change the wording to "What questions do you have for me?" the other person either has a question or has no questions at all. If they do have a question, you can provide the answer. If they don't, then you're closer to closing your deal. In the same vein, instead of asking, "Can I have your phone number?" try saying, "What's the best number for me to contact you on?" The "can I" question creates resistance. The other person might see it as invading their privacy. The second question usually results in no resistance. Everyone needs to feel they're the one making the final decision. You can help this process by narrowing down the choices. You can do this by using the phrase, "As I see it, you have 3 options." Presenting 3 options not only makes it easier for the other person but also allows you to build up to the final one, which is, of course, the one you want them to make. Let's illustrate this with an example. Start by setting the scene, the other person's current situation, stuck in a boring job with no prospects, long hours, so no time for family, and money is tight. Then remind the other person about the exciting opportunity you've just shown them. Now, they have 3 options. First, search for new positions, send their resume and applications, have interviews, find another employer, and end up doing the same kind of work for little extra reward. Second, do nothing and stay in their present situation. Third, work the opportunity you've shown them alongside their existing job. Finish by asking, "And which of those 3 options is going to be easier for you?" These final magic words will seal the deal. As Benjamin Franklin once said, "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail." These techniques ensure you're always prepared to guide any conversation toward a successful outcome. Cause and effect. There are 2 types of people in this world, those who immediately put into action what they hear and those who do nothing. We're sure you already identify, or want to identify, with the first group of people. The moment the phrase 2 types of people is uttered, the voice in your head or anyone else's says, "I must be one or the other," and of course, you and they want to pick the more favorable choice. I bet you're a bit like me. You'd rather be working on something productive than flicking through Netflix in the evenings. Even if, in this case, you're not like me, those words are powerful when it comes to getting someone to agree with you. If the person disagrees with you, it's a useful tool to gather information about the person you're presenting to. And when they do agree, it takes away possible future objections, especially if it comes to saying they don't have time for the opportunity you're offering them. Do you remember the kind of things your parents used to tell you when you were a kid? Quite probably, they sometimes took the form of conditional statements. What do we mean by that? Well, statements that start with "if" and have a consequence that continues after then. An example might be, "If you don't study hard at school, then you won't be able to go to college." Or, "If you don't tidy your room, then you're grounded." These "if, then" statements are powerful because the pattern they've created in your brain has hardwired the feeling that the consequences are always true. All well and good, but what does it mean for you in business and personal development? Consider these 2 examples. If you give this a try, then you won't be disappointed. And, if you put this sentence pattern into practice, then you'll certainly see results when you do. Understanding and leveraging these cause and effect patterns in communication can significantly enhance your ability to persuade and influence others. It's a simple yet effective tool that taps into the way our brains naturally process conditional statements, making it easier for you to steer conversations and achieve your desired outcomes. As Phil M. Jones illustrates in Exactly What to Say, the right words at the right time can make all the difference. By mastering these techniques, you can become more effective in both your personal and professional interactions. Remember, as Dale Carnegie once said, there are always 3 speeches, for every one you actually gave. The one you practiced, the one you gave, and the one you wish you gave. Make sure the speech you give is the one that hits home. Guiding next steps. Imagine for a moment that you've gone back in time to when you were a child. You're at the beach, and there's a rocky outcrop from which you can jump into the sea. You're with other kids, too, but none of you wants to be the first to jump. Eventually, the first brave kid leaps into the water and lands with a splash. As soon as everyone sees the big smile on the first kid's face and the fact that they're not hurt, everyone wants to go. You see, the thing about us humans is that we like to be followers, and we trust in safety in numbers. That's where our next magic words come in. Most people, when we use those words to describe a situation to someone, their subconscious says that if most people do that, then probably they should too. Do you want to hear how most people can turn negatives into positives? They can use a technique known as labeling. When you label something in a conversation, it becomes difficult for that label to be removed. Quite literally, the label sticks. And this is how you can use the magic words, "the good news is." Let's illustrate this with an example of someone who's doubting their ability to work in business with you. You can reassure them by saying, "The good news is that other people were in the same situation when they started out, but we were able to support them, and now they're very successful." This gets the person to look forward and, as Jones puts it, zaps any negative energy out of the conversation. So you've invested time explaining your business proposition to a prospect, they've agreed with everything you've said, and the point has come when you want them to commit, to make a decision, but suddenly the conversation ends abruptly. What do? Well, what you don't do is leave the decision-making to happen by itself, or to your prospect. It's here that you can lead them through the decision-making process by using the words "what happens next is." Effectively, what you do is lead your prospect by the hand through to completion. Don't tell them what you want them to do, rather, tell them exactly what the next steps are. Remember, as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the world belongs to the energetic. So, guide your next steps with confidence and energy, leading those around you to success. If you found these insights helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more valuable tips on mastering communication and persuasion. Easing into decisions. It's Friday night, and you really want to meet up with your friend at the movie theater. They decline, saying they can't get there because their car is at the garage. You can overcome this objection using an "if I can." Will you? Structure, like, "If I can pick you up and drop you off afterward, will you be ready at 8 p.m.? This simple technique also works in negotiations, for instance on price. "If I can match that price, will you be able to place an order?" Getting someone to say yes when they've been heading toward no is a pretty tough task. What you really need to do is get them to switch to maybe first. How can you do that? Try steering them back toward your idea using the words, "before you make your mind up." So, for example, you could say, "Before you make your mind up, let's just go over the details again and make sure we've covered all the facts." This kind of approach keeps the negotiation open. You might be able to present the facts in a slightly different way or cover material you previously omitted, shifting your prospect's perspective and guiding them towards a yes. You've probably been told many times by people that they need more time to think. Usually, this means they're delaying the decision-making process. Instead of responding with, "What is it you need to think about?" which can come off as rude or aggressive, try prefacing your inquiry with some magic words, like this, "Just out of curiosity, what is it that you need to think about?" Then, crucially, say nothing and wait for a response. There are 2 possible outcomes. First, the other person will give you an honest reason, allowing you to address their concerns. Second, they might realize there's nothing actually stopping them from proceeding. Adding "just out of curiosity" in many situations turns what could be seen as a blunt question into a way to uncover objections. Don't worry, we've covered a lot of magic words here for you to remember and use. You'll become familiar with them as you practice and master them. In fact, those 2 words we just used, "don't worry," are magic words, too. They immediately put people at ease in high-stress situations. Use them, and you'll confidently navigate any situation. I'm glad you're passionate about impacting lives through your channel. Here's an expanded version with motivational elements, an inspiring outro, and a call to action. Communication is the cornerstone of human interaction, and mastering the art of conversation can open doors, forge connections, and shape destinies. Throughout our exploration, we've delved into the power of strategic language, revealing how specific phrases can subtly guide discussions and influence outcomes. These magic words are not just tools for persuasion but pathways to understanding and collaboration. In our fast-paced world, where every interaction counts, the ability to communicate effectively is more crucial than ever. Whether in business negotiations, personal relationships, or everyday encounters, knowing how to steer conversations can lead to meaningful outcomes. The phrase "if I can" exemplifies how a simple shift in language can transform resistance into receptivity, turning a potential no into a promising yes. Moreover, the art of labeling empowers us to shape perceptions and solidify ideas. By attributing positive labels and framing discussions constructively, we can mitigate objections and foster agreement. This technique is not just about rhetoric but about building trust and rapport, essential in cultivating lasting connections. Reflecting on the power of "before you make your mind up" reminds us of the importance of patience and thoroughness in decision-making. By inviting others to revisit the facts and consider different perspectives, we encourage thoughtful deliberation and pave the way for informed choices. This approach is not about rushing outcomes but about nurturing mutual understanding and consensus. Navigating objections gracefully is another skill we've explored, exemplified by the phrase "just out of curiosity, what is it that you need to think about?" This respectful inquiry transforms potential tension into constructive dialogue, allowing us to address concerns directly and clear the path forward. It's a reminder that effective communication isn't just about what we say but how we listen and respond. As you embark on mastering these techniques, remember that communication is a journey of continuous improvement. Practice, persistence, and a willingness to learn from every interaction will deepen your mastery of these magic words. Each conversation offers an opportunity to refine your skills and refine your impact on others. In closing, let us embrace the power of words to shape our world positively. As American poet Maya Angelou once said, "Words mean more than what is set down on paper. It takes the human voice to infuse them with deeper meaning." Let's use our voices wisely, not just for personal gain but to uplift and inspire others. If you found these insights valuable, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Together, we can amplify these messages and impact thousands of lives, leaving a legacy for future generations to come. Let's make every conversation count.